Good afternoon and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got some Women's British Basketball League action for you today as the Manchester Giants host the Leicester Riders. My name's Kaz Bullock and we're about 4.5 minutes away from tip-off before we get things underway. So the Manchester Giants coming into this one sitting at 3 wins and 8 losses in 9th place, which is just outside the playoffs. They've had a tough run of games the last few weeks, back-to-back games against Caledonia a couple of weekends ago and playing the undefeated London Lions last weekend. And despite that loss last weekend to London, 104-53, Manchester put together 2 really strong quarters, outscoring London in one of them. And we saw a breakout game from young player Eva Karashaita, a season-high 11 points for her, scored 8 in the first quarter as she hit back-to-back threes and just showed her confidence, absolutely no fear, going against the top team in the league. And so much more to come from her throughout this season. Definitely a player to keep an eye on. And last weekend as well saw another explosive performance off the bench from Idil Turk. She's been doing it all season long for the Giants. Dropped 10 points, 3 assists and a steal. Just a really exciting and really fast player to watch. Comes off screens, absolutely deadly from behind the arc, and she will just find a way to get to the hoop using her speed. We also saw Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis just showing out that she is such a consistently all-around player. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. She's tied for 3rd in the league in assists per game, along with Holly Winterburn. And she's really developing her leadership role on the court. You can see her passing ability on display. Court vision is just something to absolutely aspire to if you are any kind of player watching this game, and she's just such a joy to watch out on court. And back in the starting lineup today for the Manchester Giants is Maya Pace, out last week with an injury. She's leading the team in scoring at 15 points per game, 8.4 rebounds and 3.6 assists. It's her first season out of the University of San Diego and she has been huge for the Giants this season, so it's great to see her back out on court today. And if we look at the Leicester Riders, they are currently in 2nd place in the standings, 10 wins, 2 losses. Both of those losses coming to London. They played on Friday against the Newcastle Eagles, coming out on top in that one, 90-75, behind 29 points from new signing Taylor O'Brien, 11 rebounds and 4 assists from her. And Sam Ashby and Marissa Hamilton dropping in 15 points each. They're a team that are really high scoring, volume scoring team. In the top 4 in the league, averaging just over 81 points per game. And 3rd in attempted field goals. They move the ball really well and are very tough inside. The new signing of Raven Peoples inside. Keep an eye on her throughout today's game. And alongside Raven, Taylor O'Brien leading the team in scoring, 16.8 points per game, 4.9 rebounds and 2.6 assists. And Sam Ashby, signing with the Riders this season, got her GB call-up in the November window, made her debut at the Eurobasket qualifiers and has just been named to the South All-Star team. Spent 4 years in California. I was out in Australia this summer before making the move over to the UK and signing with the Riders. And a couple of returning players in Mackenzie Johnston, and a name that will be very familiar to Riders fans in Katie Janishevska, back with the Riders organisation after spending a year out in the States. So starting 5s for the 2 teams, it will be Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis, Georgia Anderson, Maya Pace, Hannah Shaw and Sydney Hunter for the Giants. And for the Leicester Riders, Taylor O'Brien, Raven Peoples, Marissa Hamilton, Sam Ashby and Mackenzie Johnston. Manchester playing in green today and Leicester in white. Now the last time these 2 teams matched up, it was the very first game of the season over in Leicester. Leicester taking that one 92-65. However, Manchester were without Lauren Thomas-Johnson, Georgia Anderson and Sydney Hunter in that game. So with a full squad for the Giants, They'll be hoping for a different game this time round. So teams coming out on court. For the tip, it's going to be Peoples and Hunter. Peoples at 6'3" and Sydney Hunter at 6 foot. Ball's up and it's into the hands of the Riders for the first possession. And Johnston hands it off to Peoples. Johnston gets it back behind the arc. Swings it round. Nice pass inside, it's tipped away there. And Macaulay-Fanis stops, pulls up. Short jumper is good. Gets the Giants on the board. And great awareness there of Macaulay-Fanis. Had the space to take the shot. Knocks it down. Ashby looking to go inside. Comes up against pace. Macaulay-Fanis controlling it for the Giants. Round to Hunter. Pace, great to see her back on court this week. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Pace finds space, hangs in the air, gets it to finally fall in. And a good start here from the Giants. We saw them coming out strong last weekend against London. They were able to find that 3-point shot from behind the arc. That's out to the corner. Shot doesn't drop. And it's O'Brien driving baseline. And there'll be a step out of bounds. Giants forcing the turnover with some tough defense here early on. Anderson for the Giants. Macaulay-Fanis back to Anderson. Anderson to Shaw. Great pick and roll. Shaw can't finish underneath the rim. So O'Brien comes powering down the court, stops, pulls up. That's short. Anderson with the rebound. She's got Hunter ahead of her, going against Ashby. Hunter driving, and a foul is called. And that will send Sydney Hunter to the foul line. That foul is on Sam Ashby, her first team foul for the Riders. And Sydney Hunter for the Giants, playing in her first season in the UK. Was out in Turkey last year, spent the summer playing for the Maitland Mustangs in Australia. She's been an absolutely fantastic rebounder for the Giants. And hits a second free throw. As we've just got a whistle on the floor, I think ref just needs to check the shot clock. Shot clock's not restarted, so they've corrected that now. So Leicester ball from the sideline. 5-0 lead for the Giants here early on. Johnston looking for some space. Kicks it out to O'Brien. That is good, nothing but net as Taylor O'Brien gets the Riders on the board. She had that big 29-point game against Newcastle on Friday night. Short out to Pace. Pace can't answer. That'll be out of bounds. Riders ball.
Giants on defense.
Peoples round to O'Brien. Shot is up, and that is good. Hamilton for the Riders. Anderson. And kick ball going to stay the way of the Giants. Riders taking a 1-point lead after back-to-back threes. As McAlefanis gets it into Anderson. McAlefanis over to Shaw. Shaw, tough move to the hoop, can't get it to drop. There's Sam Ashby for the Riders. Swings it over to O'Brien, she's got space, catch and shoot three, too strong, and Anderson grabs the rebound. Great bit of boxing out there from Georgia Anderson. She passes out to Shaw for the long two, who knocks it down. Giants back up by 1. Johnston comes up against Anderson, has to get it out to Ashby. Sam Ashby driving to the basket, draws the foul. Basket's good. So she's got a chance for a 3-point play at the line. Sam Ashby named to the Bucks Premier North Conference Team of the Year this week. Also representing the Riders in Bucks. And gets the roll on the free throw. Puts the Riders back up by 2. Hunter to Pace. Pace backing it out. Going inside, off the glass, bounces out. As O'Brien weaves her way to the hoop. Comes off the rim, but it's Peoples that gets the rebound. Back out to O'Brien. Good ball movement here from the Riders. And Hamilton drives inside, can't get the finish. McAlefanis is going to set things up. Round to Shaw. Hands it off to Anderson. Anderson for 3. Off the rim. And basket's good at the other end for Peoples. Anderson finds some space. Hunter pulls up off the glass and in. That's a tough move from Sydney Hunter. And for the Giants, it's working when they're taking those shots outside the paint. Been able to get some really good looks so far, as that is a foul on Hunter. Foul's on the floor, so it'll be end line ball for the Riders. As we've got a substitution. Katie Janaszewska checking in for Taylor O'Brien for the Riders. And Leah McDermott, Idil Turk and Lauren Thomas Johnson in for Manchester. And Idil Turk, we've seen her all season long. She comes off the bench, comes off those screens, knocks down threes. She's been a real spark for the Giants. And it's always exciting to see what she's going to do when she comes off the bench. Ashby hangs inside. She draws the foul, and that's going to send her to the line. And that's on Hunter, so that's going to be Hunter's second foul. 2 quick fouls on Hunter with just under 5 minutes to play in the first, and you wonder if she may have to head to the bench. You don't want her to get into foul trouble. As Ashby hits the first. And second's good for Sam Ashby. 5 points leading the way for the Riders. McAlefanis. Round to Hunter. Hunter spins inside, turns. She's blocked by Hamilton. And Janaszewska round to Ashby. What a pass inside. Finishes underneath the hoop. Ashby to Peoples. What a pass. The Giants looking to answer here. The ball movement, you see the ball movement of the Riders, it's so quick. Team that are second in the league in assists per game with 21.5, and you can see why that connection there between Ashby and Peoples right underneath the basket. Hunter to Thomas Johnson, three's up, and that is good. Cuts the lead to 3. Johnston driving inside all the way to the basket, bounces out. Macaulay Fannis over to McDermott. Thomas Johnson with a touch pass back to McDermott. And Hunter fighting for the rebound as it's picked up by Ashby. Ashby finds some space and foul is called. And you see perhaps the difficulty that the Giants are having with Hannah Shaw on the bench, that inside presence. Riders able to drive into the lane and have the height advantage over this Giants team. So Sam Ashby back at the line, hits the first. He's shooting just over 92% from the line so far this season, averaging 13.3 points per game, 4.9 rebounds and 2.9 assists. As the second doesn't go. And it's Macaulay Fannis. Look at Ashby all over her. And ball's out. Great defense there from Leicester, forcing the turnover. We'll see Taylor O'Brien checking back in for the Riders. And Sam Ashby heading to the bench for a well-deserved rest. 6 points for her in this first quarter. Peoples to O'Brien. Inside, Hamilton working. And Hunter grabs the ball. And that's a first foul on Johnston. McDermott to inbound. Giants down 4, just under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. McDermott to Thomas Johnson. Macaulay Fannis, 3 is up, and that is good. Brooklyn Macaulay Fannis with a big 3 for the Giants. She did used to play for the Riders, so that slip is okay. O'Brien, all alone, unopposed to the basket. Giants need to close down that lane. Turk gets it to Macaulay Fannis, back to Turk. Turk straight to the basket, can't get the finish, but she found the way, did all the hard work to get to the hoop. And a long pass inside to Peoples, who finishes underneath the basket. That takes her to 6 points in the game. Riders increase the lead to 5. As I mentioned earlier, Riders are a very high scoring team, averaging just over 81 points per game as McDermott's shot is short. And that's going to go back the way of Leicester. Substitution for Manchester, Georgia Anderson back into the game along with Hannah Shaw. And for the Riders, Elise Tweedy. And Erin Powell into the game for the first time. O'Brien spins, passes out to Januszewska, back inside. As Johnston turns and hangs in the air. And Anderson over to McDermott. Into the hands of Shaw, and she's blocked by Tweedy. As O'Brien stops and pulls up. Rims out, and Shaw grabs the rebound. McDermott hands it off to Turk. Just under a minute to go in the first. Turk to the basket. Again, she's doing such a good job of getting there, just not able to finish. O'Brien goes inside and gets it to fall. And the Riders have been able to do that the majority of this first quarter, able to find that space as Anderson pulls up from the free throw line, bounces out. Johnston passes over to Powell, who puts it in. And Erin Powell, one of the young players to watch on this Riders squad. As Anderson holds it for the Giants, 7 seconds. Shaw turns and shoots and hits. The Riders will have to put something up at the buzzer. That will not go. So at the end of the first quarter, it is a 26-17 lead for the Leicester Riders over the Manchester Giants. Raven Peoples and Taylor O'Brien leading the way for the Riders. 7 points for O'Brien, 6 for Peoples. And for the Giants, it is Brooklyn McAleer-Fanis with 5 points and Hannah Shaw with 4. The Giants, I mentioned it earlier, that high advantage inside that the Riders have. The Giants only with Shaw over 6 foot on the squad. And the Riders with Peoples at 6'3", Elise Tweedy at 6'4" inside. It's a difficult matchup for Manchester, but when they've been getting those open looks from the field, they've been able to hit those. That's been working well for them. They just need to try and close that lane down inside when the Riders are driving to the basket. So Leicester currently winning the battle of the boards 14-8. And it's 2 offensive rebounds for Raven Peoples. She leads the league in offensive rebounds. Also leads the league in field goal percentage with 63.2, an incredibly efficient player. Very high basketball IQ, playing in her first season out of St. John's in New York, where she was, unsurprisingly, the all-time leader in field goal percentage with 59.6. Just a real knockdown shooter and a strong defender as well. She's a player that's been causing matchup problems for teams throughout the season. So coming out back on court. Will be Giants ball.
Will be the Giants to get us underway in the second quarter. We're going to need you to get loud, Manchester. Let's go, Giants. Let's go.
To Anderson. Shaw over to Thomas Johnson. Back to Anderson. Anderson catch and shoot 3. Too short. Johnson hands it off to O'Brien. Again, the ball movement here from the Riders. Powell driving baseline. Back out to O'Brien. O'Brien to Januszewska. 3 is in and out. Unlucky for that one not to drop, but it's chased down by Powell. And she hits the long 2. Erin Powell, also playing WEABL this season, leads the league in efficiency and points per game, dropping 25.4 points per game as Thomas Johnson powers away to the basket. Can't get it to fall, but it's Pace. Tries to put it back in. She'll get the whistle, and that will send Maya Pace to the free throw line. Sydney Hunter back into the game for Thomas Johnson. And that first foul there on the Riders, so that's first foul on Erin Powell. And first team foul for the Riders as Pace doesn't get the first to go. Second bounces out. And a great job there from Tweedy to get it into the hands of a teammate. Januszewska hands it off to Powell. Johnston. Back out, O'Brien all alone at the top of the arc. Drains it. And Taylor O'Brien is a threat from behind the three-point line. Giants want to try and close her down. Don't leave her that open. As Hunter working inside is called for the offensive foul. So ball is going to go back the way of the Riders. And that is going to be Hunter's third foul here in the first half. So she's going to have to take a seat. Brooklyn McAlefanis back in for Hunter. Januszewska on to Johnston. Oh, what a pass over to Bryan. Bryan driving, can't get the left-handed shot to go. It's Tweedy that pulls it down. No good, and Shaw comes up with it for the Giants. Pace, Giants needs to get it over the line. They do. McAlefanis thought about his shot. Into Anderson, over to Pace. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Pace, Anderson with space, and that's going to be a step out of bounds. Riders will get the ball back.
Riders 31, Giants 17, 7:54 remaining in the first half.
Powell, around to Januszewska. Powell against Thomas Johnson. Again, the ball movement here from the Riders, working it round. O'Brien out to Johnston, three doesn't go, and it's Pace. McAlefanis over to Anderson. Pace going inside, short jumper out. Giants need to put something up here as the clock winds down, and Shaw's bucket doesn't go. And Johnston into Tweedy. Back out that pass. The Riders are getting inside to the bigs inside as O'Brien turns and hangs in the air. Look at the hang time on O'Brien's shot. And she's up to 10 as we'll have a timeout called. And the Riders up 33-17 here in Manchester with just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Taylor O'Brien putting on a show. 12 points after that last basket. A couple of assists for her. And Raven Peoples and Sam Ashby with 6 points each for the Riders. Leading the way for the Giants, it is Brooklyn McAlefanis. 5 points for her. And 4 points for Hannah Shaw, along with 3 rebounds. Now with Hunter on the bench probably for the rest of the first half for the Giants with those 3 fouls. You're going to have to look to see who can step into that role. Hunter's been doing a really good job on the boards for the Giants this season. Again, as I mentioned, Leicester with the advantage height-wise. So you're going to need someone to fill in that gap where Hunter would be creating that space, boxing out, getting those rebounds. And always interesting to see who is the player that steps up into that role, fills that gap. And for the Giants, we see Eva Karashaita onto the court for the first time after that big game against London last week, scoring a season-high 11 points. A player that was previously with the Oakland's Wolves, making the move up to Manchester this season. And she's a threat from behind the arc. And also, she'll help fill that height gap that Hunter leaves. As McAlefanis, straight out of the gate, takes her up to 7 points. Peoples to O'Brien. Kicks it out. Ashby's shot is up, doesn't drop. It's McAlefanis. Kicks it out to McDermott. Shaw working against Peoples. Shaw. Shot doesn't fall. Karashaita's there for the rebound. Out to Pace. Into Shaw. And no points that time for the Giants, but that's a great job from Eva Karashaitar as Powell drains the three. That takes her up to 7 points. That's a season high for her. Makalefanis with a short jumper. It's good. Ashby to O'Brien. O'Brien going inside. She's loses that. It will stay with the Giants, but O'Brien has been able to find a way inside all game long. Thomas Johnson in for sure for the Giants. Makalefanis over to Karashaitar. Long two. Doesn't drop. Peoples with the rebound. It's rebound number 6 for Raven Peoples. This is what she does. As Pace has to slow it down and let the teams catch up. Into Karashaitar. Karashaitar off the glass. Picking up where she left off last week. That's her first points of the game. Peoples with space. Doesn't get that to fall. McDermott with the rebound. See, the Giants here just need to chip into this lead, try and get it down to single digits as Ashby nearly steals it away. Makalefanis out to Pace. Pace's three is too strong. Rebounds chased down. O'Brien, 3-on-1 break, hands it off to Peoples. And no good, but the offensive board as O'Brien lays it in. And we will have a timeout called by the Giants. Coach Mark Jones wants to talk things over. As the Riders up 38 to 23 here. With just under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Taylor O'Brien has been huge for the Riders. 14 points for her. She dropped 29 on Friday night. And Brooklyn Makalefanis, 9 points, leading the way for the Giants. And Sydney Hunter still on those 3 fouls. So it's unlikely we'll see her till sometime in the third. But Eva Karashaitar coming off the bench, trying to plug that gap. 2 points for her and a rebound. And it's those offensive rebounds with Karashaitar grabbing that offensive board. That's something the Giants may have struggled a little bit with this season. And the Riders out-rebounding them on the offensive glass 5-2. But with Karashaitar into the game, it's definitely a positive for the Giants.
4:17 remaining in the second quarter.
So teams coming back out on court. And it will be Giants ball. So if you're Manchester here, you want to try and take some momentum going into halftime, cut into this lead. 15-point lead for the Riders. You want to try and get it down to 10, get it down to single digits. Just take it possession by possession. Do what's been working for you. Those shots have been falling for them as Turk 3 spins out. And that's a good look from Turk. We've seen her make those as Peoples catches it, kicks it out. Shot doesn't go, but what a pass there from Peoples as Ashby finishes underneath the basket. And it's those offensive rebounds, those second chance points for the Riders, really making the difference here. McDermott looking to go inside, turns, spins, knocks it down. That's her first points of the game. Johnston out to Powell. Off the rim, and Peoples, you see there, she just reaches out, grabs the rebound. That's why she's leading the league in offensive boards. Powell on the baseline. Pass is intercepted by McDermott. Over to Macaulay Fannis. Three's too strong. And Ashby setting things up. That doesn't go. McDermott over to Macaulay Fannis. Turk with space in the corner. And draws the foul on the floor. And Idil Turk, we know she can hit that three. A few weeks ago in the quarterfinal of the trophy against Nottingham, she dropped 5 threes on her way to 35 points. And Katie Januszewska into the game for Erin Powell for the Riders. Turk saves the pass. Out to Thomas Johnson, deep three, doesn't go. Ashby, her three's no good. And it's Macaulay Fannis with another rebound for the Giants. She's one of the smaller players on the court. She does such a good job rebounding. Out to McDermott, Turk in the corner. Back out to McDermott, catch and shoot, knocks it down. 5 points for McDermott. Cuts the lead to 12. Peoples out to Johnston. Johnston driving. Corner three doesn't fall, but again, another offensive board for the Riders. Shot short, and that's going to be a... I think the Giants were looking for the shot clock violation. Looks like the ball was picked up afterwards. Did the shot hit the rim? And they've said basket is good. Call on the floor, basket is good. So that sends Peoples to the line. So ball must have hit the rim as the shot clock ran down, which gives the Riders a fresh 14, and Peoples fouled on the shot. So that foul was on Lauren Thomas-Johnson. As we see Turk and Macaulay Fannis to the bench for the Giants, Anderson and Spence into the game. Peoples' shot is good. 9 points for Raven Peoples, along with 8 rebounds in the first half. Karashita round to Spence. And it's picked off. Johnston steals it away. Spence trying to chase her down. And basket's good. Anderson setting things up for the Giants. To McDermott. Into Thomas Johnson. Not sure how she managed to catch that, but she's fouled on the play. So that gives Lauren Thomas-Johnson a chance at a 3-point play. What a pass inside to Thomas-Johnson. And that's foul number 2 on Marissa Hamilton. So Taylor O'Brien will come back into the game. And Hamilton heads to the bench for Leicester. Lauren Thomas-Johnson at the line. Shot doesn't drop. Peoples with her 9th rebound of the game. She's looking at a double-double in the first half. As O'Brien again finds that space on the baseline and puts the basket in the hoop. 17-point lead for Leicester. Karashita hands it off to McDermott. Anderson back to McDermott. McDermott's three's up and 2 short. That was a good look from McDermott. She hit that earlier on. As Johnston pulls up from the free throw line and hits. Long pass over to Thomas Johnson. To Anderson for 3. Doesn't go. McDermott's there for the rebound and puts it back in. A tough move from Leah McDermott. 4 seconds for the Riders. O'Brien driving to the basket, doesn't go. Peoples can't put it back in at the buzzer, and that will do it for the end of the first half. Riders up 49-32 against the Giants. They've been led by a huge game from Taylor O'Brien so far, 16 points and 2 rebounds and 2 assists for her. And Raven Peoples, 9 points, 9 rebounds in the first half, along with 4 offensive rebounds, and that has been so crucial for the Riders. 8 second chance points for them, those 4 offensive rebounds for Peoples, just getting them those extra chances. Another look at the basket. And for the Giants, Brooklyn McAleer-Fanis, 9 points, 2 rebounds and a steal. And Leah McDermott off the bench with 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist and 1 steal for her. So we're going to take a quick break for half time, and we'll be back with you in around 10 minutes time. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester as we get ready for the second half between the Manchester Giants and the Leicester Riders. Leicester currently with a 49-32 lead over the Giants as we head into the third quarter. They've been led by Taylor O'Brien, 16 points for her, along with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. She's been huge, dropped 29 points on Friday night against Newcastle, and she's picking up where she left off. And for the Manchester Giants, it's been Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis with 9 points, and Leah McDermott adding in 7 points, 2 rebounds and an assist. So teams coming back out on court. Now in the first half, the Riders able to get to the basket, driving the lane, and you're going to wonder if the Giants have been able to put something into play to try and close that down, force the Riders to take a shot from further out to make it harder for them to get those points. As it's Johnston for the Riders. Out to Ashby. 3 is pure. Sam Ashby with a big bucket. 8 points in the game for Ashby. McAleer-Fannis hands it off to Pace. Pace. Hunter back in the game. Hunter's shot doesn't fall, and it's Ashby with the rebound. O'Brien. Hamilton's shot is too strong, and Hunter with the rebound. And Sydney Hunter playing with those 3 fouls she picked up in the first half. As Anderson with a long 3, doesn't fall, but Pace picks it up for Manchester. And working away inside, too strong off the glass. Johnson going to back it out. Ashby keeps it inside the lines, and a pass into Peoples is knocked out, so it will stay with the Riders with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson on the inbound. Ashby gets fouled on the shot. And that's going to send Sam Ashby to the foul line, and that is foul number 4 on Sydney Hunter, and that's a big blow for the Giants, as Hunter is now going to have to sit after just over a minute here in the third quarter. Ashby's first is good, and Sam Ashby, an exciting young player, great to have her in the league this season, made her debut for GB in November, came on court, hit an and one, and took a charge on the next possession, just making a real statement in her first game in a GB jersey. And it's been fantastic to see her playing for the Riders all season long in the Women's British Basketball League. Pace gets it into Shaw. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Shaw on the baseline, hands it off to Thomas Johnson, and she'll get the foul call with 0.2 seconds on the shot clock. Riders doing a good job defensively running the clock down, but Thomas Johnson will go to the line for 2. And that's on Ashby, her second foul. And Lauren Thomas Johnson back in Manchester in her 6th season. Played 5 for Manchester, part of that 2017 Cup winning squad. And a player that's very familiar with Georgia Anderson, with Hannah Shaw. Played together for so long throughout the years. As a second is good for Thomas Johnson. And ball is knocked out, and it's going to go back with the Giants. Georgia Anderson forcing the turnover. Anderson, she was named captain of the North All-Star team this week. And the All-Star game taking place at the Copper Box on the 17th of March. You can grab your tickets. It's going to Be a really exciting day as she passes inside to Thomas Johnson. Ashby all the way to the basket, doesn't get it to fall. Anderson's got Thomas Johnson ahead of her, and Hamilton looking to chase it down, but Thomas Johnson hangs in the air, can't get it to fall. Peoples with another rebound. And Ashby, oh, what a handoff. And Peoples finishes. Ashby with the hockey assist. And Peoples now with a double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds for her. McAleer-Fannis with a short jumper, gets it to go. McAleer-Fannis on 11 points. Hamilton against Thomas Johnson. And offensive foul call. So Giants will get the ball back. As Eva Karashaita and Leah McDermott checking back in for Manchester. Lauren Thomas Johnson and Maya Pace heading to the bench.
Let's go, Giants, let's go.
Anderson against Johnston. To Shaw. Back out to Anderson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pass is intercepted. Ashby going all the way to the basket. Can't get it to fall. Peoples with another board, and it's foul is called. And I think that may be on McDermott. Yes, that's on McDermott, her first foul. So it'll be Riders ball from the baseline as Idil Turk into the game for Anderson. Ashby underneath the basket, has to back it out. Setting things up with 7 seconds to go. Ashby. Shot doesn't fall. Shaw with the rebound. McAleer-Fannis all the way to the basket, drops it in. 13 points for McAleer-Fannis. Hamilton. Out to Peoples. And foul is called on the floor. That will be on Shaw. That's her first. Giants on 3 team fouls to the Riders 2. As we'll have a substitution for Leicester. Katie Januszewska checking in. And Marissa Hamilton heading to the bench. Riders ball with a fresh 14. Ashby, catch and shoot. Knocks it down. That takes her to 14. McAleer-Fannis setting things up for the Giants. McDermott, and that's going to be an offensive foul call. The ball will go back with the Riders. That's the second on McDermott. 20-point lead for the Riders here in the third quarter. Johnston from the elbow, hits. Turk driving baseline, high off the glass and in. And that's the speed of Idil Turk. Finds a way to get to the basket. Januszewska for 3. That's good. If you've seen Januszewska play before, that is no surprise to anyone. She can hit from behind the arc. As Karashaita passes into Shaw. Shaw out to Macaulay-Fannis. That three is good. Brooklyn Macaulay-Fannis with 16 points in the game. Giants not going away. Peoples with another rebound. Ball's knocked out, going to stay with the Riders, but you see there, Peoples just always in the right place at the right time, able to read the shots going up. Positions herself really well to get those rebounds. As we see Erin Powell back in for the Riders. And O'Brien, short jumper, doesn't fall. This ball's going to stay with Leicester. Powell. O'Brien, it's stolen away by Thomas Johnson. Great save there for her to keep the ball in bounds. As McDermott gets it into the hands of Macaulay-Fannis, out to Turk. Turk with space, that's good! Idil Turk, as we've seen her do all season long, hits that three from the corner. O'Brien, out to Johnston. Peoples, she's doubled, picked off by Macaulay-Fannis. Turk stops, thought about the shot, sets herself up, drains it! Back-to-back threes for Idil Turk. And the Giants cut the lead to 14 as we have a timeout called. That is what Idil Turk does. She has been doing it all season long. 8 points for her, back-to-back threes. You give her an inch of daylight, she's going to take advantage and hit that shot. And Brooklyn Macaulay-Fannis, she's got her fingerprints all over this game. 16 points and 2 rebounds for her. Picking up an assist. And Thomas Johnson on that last possession for the Giants, able to keep the ball in, leads to a three, and that's just great hustle from this Manchester team. Having been down 23, they've cut the lead to 14. Just under 3.5 minutes to play in the third. So currently outscoring the Riders 16-13 in this quarter. For the Riders, Raven Peoples with a huge 11 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of them offensive, and a steal. She has just been in the right place at the right time on the boards for the Riders. So it'll be Leicester ball from the baseline. So O'Brien over to Januszewska. O'Brien gets it back. Peoples. Out to Johnston, back inside. And Thomas Johnson making Peoples work for it, but gets the basket at the end. Moves back to 16 for Leicester. Macaulay-Fannis. It's stolen away by Johnston. Januszewska for three. Too strong. Tips into the hands of Powell. Out to O'Brien. And O'Brien is going to settle things down. As we have a foul called. And again, it is those offensive rebounds. The Riders getting those second chance points. As pace back into the game. Karashaitis to the bench for Manchester. The Riders out-rebounding the Giants 39-21. Grabbing 13 offensive rebounds. So O'Brien's first is good. Second, also good. O'Brien, 5th in the league in points per game this season. 16.8 leading the Riders. 18 in today's game, 29 in Friday's game against the Eagles. going to be moving up those rankings very soon as pace hangs in the air, shot spins out, and I think someone headed that one out of bounds. But it will stay with the Riders as Sam Ashby back into the game for Leicester. Taylor O'Brien to the bench. Johnston directing traffic. Using the screen from Peoples. Out to Powell. Powell with space. Three's too strong. Pace with the rebound. McAleer-Fannis out to Turk. Turk back out to McAleer-Fannis. Oh, no look to Turk in the corner. And Turk is fouled as she drove on the baseline. I think that's on Ashby. Yep, third foul on Ashby. And third team foul for the Riders. So it'll be end-line ball for Manchester as McAleer-Fannis into McDermott. McDermott's shot doesn't go, and Peoples with another rebound. She has been huge for the Riders. As Johnston kicks it out, Januszewska. Powell into Peoples. The ball movement from this Riders team is exceptional as Johnston finishes underneath the hoop. And she's going to go to the line for a three-point play. Just the awareness of the Riders team as to where every player is going to be on court. They're swinging it round and they're looking for that great shot. They're not settling for good shots. And it's paying off dividends for them. Foul was on Turk, and three-point play is good for Mackenzie Johnston. Johnston named Bucks Premier North Conference MVP this week and made it into the Team of the Year. Turk looks to find some space. It's stolen away by Johnston. And Turk will be called for the foul. And that will be an unsportsmanlike call on Turk. So that's going to send the Riders to the line and will give them possession. So for the Riders back into the game, Elise Tweedy. And it's Johnston at the line for two. Returning for the Riders after having played last season. Played out in Germany. And out of the University of Montana, where she played in Division 1 in the States. Just a fantastic talent to have here in the UK. I know Riders fans have been very excited that she returned to the squad this year. So after the foul shots, it will be Riders' ball. Powell. Johnston. Looking to hand it off. Ashby's there. Ashby with 1 second, puts it up, doesn't drop. And chased down by Johnston, but ball didn't touch the rim, so that's a shot clock violation, and it's Manchester ball. Just under a minute to play here in the third. McDermott, round to Turk. Riders doing a good job clogging the paint as pace out to Anders McDermott, and it's picked up by Ashby. Johnston running ahead, manages to save that. Backs it out to reset. 5 second difference between the shot and game clock. Johnston with 5 seconds. Inside to Ashby. Ashby's doubled. And ball is loose. Going to go the way of the Giants. Some good D from the Giants there on that possession. And they will have 5.6 seconds to get something off. As Turk uses a screen from Shaw, launches and banks it in at the buzzer. Ideal Turk. It's what she does. 11 points, And Turk with a huge 3 at the buzzer cuts the lead to 19. So the Riders up to 70. Giants 51 after that big buzzer beating 3 from Idil Turk. That takes her to 11 points, along with an assist. And Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis, 16 points for her, shooting 7 of 8 from the field, 87%. 2 rebounds, an assist and a steal. She has been huge for the Giants, keeping them in this one. And the Leicester Riders, they have been led by Taylor O'Brien, 18 points, 2 assists. And Raven Peoples, double-double for her, 13 points, 14 rebounds, 7 of them offensive. And Sam Ashby also dropping in 14 points and 5 rebounds. And Mackenzie Johnston dishing out 11 assists for the Riders, another double-double, 12 points, 11 assists for her. Such a fantastic facilitator. You've seen her do it all this game long as well, and also making the pass before the pass, the hockey assist, getting herself into the right place, knowing exactly where her teammates are going to be. And Erin Powell, the young player coming through Charnwood, the WEABL, playing for the Riders in Division 1. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 7 points is a season high for her in the Women's British Basketball League. She's been dominating in the WEABL this season. Named Player of the Week 5 times. And was last year named the WEABL North Under 17 Player of the Year. Apologies, in 2022, not last year, 2 years ago. And just another really young, exciting player to watch that we have playing week in, week out in the league. So 4th quarter underway and it's Giants ball. A 19-point deficit for them to cut into. As Anderson with the short jumper doesn't get it to fall. And it's O'Brien playing with pace over to Januszewska, and she draws the foul. That will send Katie Januszewska to the foul line for 2 shots. Speaking of young, exciting players, Januszewska representing GB at the Under-20 European Championships this summer. Come through the age groups, playing under-16s, under-18s. First free throw is good for her.
Second incoming, must be louder.
And second is good. Increases the lead for the Riders. Anderson, round to Turk. Pace. Going inside, Hunter's got space. Long 2 doesn't go. And it's Hamilton that comes away with the rebound. Gets it into the hands of O'Brien. Out to Januszewska. Ashby, 3, too strong. Pace, going coast to coast. Her shot won't fall, and it's Ashby leading the charge for the Riders. Januszewska with space. And Pace with another board for the Giants. Turk looking to go inside, and a foul is called on the floor. And that's on O'Brien, that's just her first. As we'll have Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis and Leah McDermott back into the game for Manchester. Georgia Anderson and Maya Pace heading to the bench.
That was called on the floor, so be the Giants to inbound from the sideline.
So Giants ball. Shaw. Hook shot, drops in. That was a tough shot from Shaw. Takes it to 6 points. O'Brien spins, finds space inside, doesn't get it to fall, and Last touch, Giants. So the Riders will get the ball back on the end line. O'Brien looking to get it in. Tweedy's there. Hamilton, 5 seconds, hands it off to Januszewska. Tweedy for 3. Doesn't go, but Ashby is there for the rebound and puts the reverse in. And it's just been the story of the game for the Riders. That offensive rebounding, so crucial for them. As Hunter hands it to short McDermott. Makalifanis back to McDermott in the corner. 3 doesn't fall. O'Brien for 3. No good. And Turk racing down the court. Over to Hunter. Hunter for 3. Nails it. Ashby finding a way inside to the basket. She's so good at finding that space. And just able to drop the ball in off the glass as we have a timeout called. Riders up 20 here in the 4th quarter. Brooklyn Makalifanis with a huge 16 points so far. And Idil Turk with 11 points off the bench for the Giants. For the Riders, Taylor O'Brien, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And Raven Peoples with that double-double, 13 points, 14 rebounds. As Sam Ashby dropping in 18 and 8 rebounds. And this is that problem with this Leicester Riders team. They have so many offensive threats, so many players who can score. You try and close Taylor O'Brien down. Sam Ashby's there. Raven Peoples is there. Mackenzie Johnston's there. And coming off the bench, we've got Erin Powell adding in 7 and Januszewska with 5. So the Riders, after this game, will be back in action on March the 2nd, hosting Oaklands at 6 o'clock. And Manchester Giants have a run of away games after this one, playing in Essex on March the 2nd at 4 p.m. They will not be back at home until April the 20th against Durham. There's Makalifanis with a short jumper. That's good.
18 points in the game for Brooklyn Makalifanis.
Hamilton into Peoples, and it's knocked out. So it will go to the Giants. As McDermott on the inbound, gets it into Makalifanis. Makalifanis over to Turk. Turk back out, 7 seconds on the shot clock. McDermott spins, working away inside, passes over to Hunter, and shot doesn't go. Again, Raven Peoples putting on a rebounding masterclass today as O'Brien works away inside but backs it out to Ashby. Peoples, nice finish underneath the basket. Turk over to McDermott. Thomas Johnson going against Peoples. Great pass to Hunter with the short shot. Can't get that to fall. O'Brien going all the way, gets the whistle. And that's Turk's third foul for the Giants. Maya Pace back into the game for Manchester, along with Georgia Anderson. Turk and McDermott to the bench. And Taylor O'Brien at the line for two. She's playing in her first season for the Riders out of Florida State University. Spent 4 years at Bucknell Uni in Pennsylvania prior to that, where she led the team in scoring and was also on the track and field squad. She owns the Bucknell record in outdoor high jump, and that probably helps explain quite why she's able to get so high in the air and get those baskets. Thomas Johnson working inside, and she's blocked by Peoples. And it's Ashby. Got O'Brien underneath the basket. Hunter at the other end with a big block. Out to Hamilton, who nets it. And Riders up to 83 here in the fourth. McAleer-Fannis, round to Hunter. Answers with the three. Takes Hunter up to 9 points. O'Brien to the basket. And a timeout is called by the Giants. Riders up 85-61 here in the fourth quarter. They've been led by Taylor O'Brien. Absolutely no let up from her, 22 points. And 4 rebounds and 4 assists. She dropped 29 on Friday against Newcastle. And she has just been huge for the Riders all season long, leads the team in scoring. And I'm sure she will continue her impressive offensive display throughout the rest of the season. 4 Riders players in double figures as Sam Ashby drops in 18, Raven Peoples with 15, and Mackenzie Johnston adding in 12. And for the Giants, it's Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis with 18 points. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 88% from the field, going 8 of 9. And Idil Turk off the bench with 11 points and a couple of assists and a rebound.
4:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. Leicester Riders 85, Manchester Giants 61.
As teams come back out on court, under 4.5 minutes to play here. And it's McAleer-Fannis, just a real leader on this team. Got exceptional court vision, able to set her teammates up. As Anderson finds space, 3, doesn't drop. Riders come away with a rebound. Hamilton, back to Johnston. O'Brien with space for 3, nothing but net. Takes her to 25 points. Is she going to match that 29 she had on Friday? Thomas Johnson. Hands it over to Pace. Anderson. Round to McAleer-Fannis. Anderson in the corner. 3's too strong. O'Brien. 3 doesn't go, but another offensive board for Leicester. This ball's out of bounds, going to stay with the Riders. That's O'Brien with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Hamilton picks it up. Riders need to put something up. Hamilton drive into the basket, and we got a wedgie. Gonna need someone to jump up there and get that down. Let's get Taylor O'Brien. High jump record holder. I bet she can get that. saved in, so it will be Giants ball.
Substitution for the Leicester Riders coming into game number 10, Elise Tweedy.
Raven Peoples heading to the bench for the Riders. Elise Tweedy back into the game.
Possession arrow is in favour of the Leicester Riders, so they will have possession of the base.
Tweedy having spent a couple of seasons with the Caledonia Pride previously. Again this week named the Bucks Premier North Conference Most Improved Player. And it really helps for a squad like this Riders team. They've got a lot of players playing in different leagues. As Thomas Johnson swings it out, Anderson, 3 doesn't go. And it's Johnston with the rebound. She's doubled, but foul is called on the floor.
Foul called against number 8, Georgia Anderson, first personal substitution for the Leicester Riders coming into the game.
As Ema Morris into the game for the first time for the Riders. And Johnston gets the ball back. Swings it round. Morris. Hamilton with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pass inside. Johnston has to put something up. Doesn't get it to fall. As Hunter finds a way to the basket and lays it in. That's going to take her to 11. Long pass over to Tweedy, and it's knocked out, but will stay with the Riders. As Turk and Karashita into the game for Anderson and Thomas Johnson. And Athena Thompson into the game for the first time for the Riders. Playing in her first season in the Women's British Basketball League. 15 years old. She's an incredibly exciting young player to watch as Johnston swings it round. Tweedy inside. Can't finish, gets her own rebound and works her way inside to put it in off the glass. And we've got a whistle. I think the shot clock has not restarted, so that'll be sideline ball for the Giants.
.22 seconds left on the shot clock and we'll join us inbound from the sideline.
Giants ball.
Riders 90, Giants 63.
Macaulay Fannis finds some space. Long 2 is good. 20 points for Macaulay Fannis. That's a season high for her. She's been incredible. Morris going against Macaulay Fannis. Hands it to Johnston. Johnston again, it's that space. The Riders able to get to the basket. Giants have just not been able to close down that lane all game long. Macaulay Fannis over to Pace. Pace driving underneath the basket. Shot won't go. And it's back into the hands of the Riders with just under a minute to go here in the fourth. Thompson turns 3, bounces out. Back into the Riders' hands. And again, another offensive board for Leicester as Tweedy's shot doesn't fall. And you see Johnston diving in underneath the basket. It will be Giants ball. But again, that's been the story of the game for Leicester, grabbing those offensive boards. Hunter to Turk. Turk again finding space on the left-hand side, drops it in. She's using her quickness to get to the hoop. And Johnston is just going to dribble this one out. As that will do it for the game. Leicester 92 to Manchester's 67. Leicester were led by a huge game from Taylor O'Brien, following up a 29-point game on Friday with 25 points, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Raven Peoples, 15 points, 17 rebounds, 7 of them offensive. And Sam Ashby adding in 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists and a couple of steals. While Mackenzie Johnson had 14 points and 12 assists. Double-doubles all over the place for Leicester. And Erin Powell coming off the bench with 7 points, a season high for her, along with 3 rebounds. And for the Manchester Giants, it was Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis leading the way, 9 of 10 from the field, 20 points for her, 0 free throws. All her scoring coming from the field. A couple of rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. And Idil Turk off the bench, 13 points, a rebound and 2 assists. And then Sydney Hunter adding in 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. So a tough game for the Giants as they continue to have a stretch against the top 4 teams in the league, as they will head to Essex next weekend, March the 2nd at 4 p.m. and will not be back at home until April the 20th against Durham. 7 of their last games are on the road, so a tough stretch for them, but they'll be hoping to take some momentum in the next few games. And you see there Brooklyn McAleer-Fannis running over to chat to some of her previous teammates, a player that was with the Leicester Riders a couple of seasons ago and made a real impact on that squad. And it's great to see players being able to catch up when they can. And I know a lot of people excited she's back in Manchester, back in the league, and she's chosen to be in Manchester. And a 20-point game for her, huge game for McAleer-Fannis. Season high 20 points. And Idil Turk once again off the bench, 13 points. And just a great game from Turk. So that will do it. The final score from Manchester, the Riders 92, the Giants 67. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.